PKO Boxing with Sherry Abassi, and today I have a very special guest from the USA, Mr. Chordale Booker, who will be challenging Sebastian Fundora for the WBO and WBC Super Welterweight titles in March 22nd. Chordale, first of all, thank you for giving me a bit of your time today, bro.
Yeah.
How are you keeping, and how's training camp been?
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate being on your platform. Um, training has been great. Um, this is the best opportunity of my life, so I'm taking it as serious as possible and making sure I do everything to come out victorious.
Of course, and like you said, this is a massive opportunity, Cordell. Of course, for many months we saw back and forth online, will they, won't they, Errol Spence and Sebastian Fundora and whatnot. And that didn't happen, and now you've got the opportunity of a lifetime. I mean, what was your initial response when you heard your name was being in the mix, and how did you sort of take the whole opportunity?
I did whatever I could to make sure I that I was the guy who was chosen. There was between me and maybe two other people. Um, I don't know if they were front runners to get the fight, but I made sure I just say yes and just made it as easy as possible to make the fight happen. Because at the end of the day, me getting the win puts me in a 10 times better position than I was before I had the fight.
100%. Like you said, this is your first world title opportunity as well. I think you've got 24 fights. Is that right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, so
Correct.
this is a massive opportunity, like you said, and in Sin City, Vegas, the home of boxing for many years. All the big fights have been in Vegas for decades. So this is a massive opportunity for you. I don't doubt for a second that you'll be taking it very seriously,
Yeah.
Cordell. So just a bit before we get into the actual sort of boxing side of things, just a bit about yourself, Cordell. What led you to professional boxing? Did you have a amateur background, or did you just head into professional boxing by chance? A lot of people have different stories, so it'd be interesting to know.
I got in trouble. I got into boxing from beginning into trouble. I was 18, walking to a gym. I'm trying to fast forward the story.
Yeah.
Uh, got into the gym. It helped me stay away from trouble. The judge who would judge my Golden Gloves was also the judge for my court case. Bumped into him at the Golden Gloves. He gave me a second chance at life. And then I just from there I kind of already knew I loved boxing, but then that was something that just really opened my eyes and my faith grew stronger. Um, and I just believe I had a bigger purpose in my life. But boxing was going to be that driving force or be that thing that connects me to more youth and get them out of the trouble that I've been through. And then I had honestly I had like 100 plus amateur fights within 5 years. I fought every tournament. I fought the ringside. I fought the national. I fought every national tournament in those years. I fought the WSB qualifiers. I fought uh, everything you could think of. Every tournament. I won almost every tournament. Competed in everything. Um, and then once I didn't make it to the Olympics, I lost in the first final to Charles Conwell, and I turned pro right after that.
Wow, so you've got quite a lot of so amateur pedigree as well. Then you're boxing like the Golden Glove, like you said, and Olympic qualifiers and stuff. So you've got a lot of boxing background essentially. So it's been a big part of your life clearly. And just to touch on, you mentioned about the youth there. I know I read up online that you do a lot of youth mentoring. How did that come about, and how does that work for you on a day to day?
It came because my coach he he became the mentor for me. I didn't have one I didn't have one who was actually doing something constructive or doing the right thing. I had street mentors who were doing the wrong thing, and then once I wanted to change my life, he became a positive role model. And he used to I couldn't afford to train at the gym, so he would tell me, "Hey, listen, you train the youth, and I'll train you." So then I started training the kids, and I fell in love with just having conversations with them, seeing how they thought. No, like there wasn't a lot of difference between me and them because I was only 18, and once I turned 19, I could no longer be in a program, so I started teaching a program. Because once you're 18, you cut off from being a youth
Mm.
program. Um, and I wanted to see these kids not go down the same path that I was possibly going, because I thought I was going to jail still when I was 19. Um, and then once I got the second chance at life, I'm like, yo, this is what I'm here for. I'm here. I'm supposed to be helping these kids not choose the wrong thing and do what my coach did for me, be a positive role model and a positive influence.
That's amazing, man. Cordell, congratulations and hats off to you. A lot of respect for that, because a lot of people can sort of lose track of where they come from. And I think clearly you haven't. You've kept a tight grip on your roots, and you've given back to the youth and the community, and that's amazing. And I think that helps, like in life in general, we look back at our school teachers or our sports coaches, whatever it is, and we look at them as sort of role models in life. So, yourself now, you're in that same position now where you can pass on your knowledge and your sort of wisdom and help guide people. So that's amazing. And I also read about your personal training. Is that boxing related as well, that you're training people?
Yeah, the personal training, I do that at the gym that my coach owns, Revolution Training in Stanford. It's in the community. We do a lot of things to help the youth as well with that, and I'm proud of that because we get to meet a lot of kids. I've seen a lot of kids since I was 18. I'm 33 now, so I've seen a lot of kids like actually grow. There's some kids who are 13, 14 now. I've actually seen them when they weren't even one, and just growing up in the community it's I'm proud of that. I'm proud of being able to say I stayed down and stayed in my roots.
100%. I think that's probably a big help for you in terms of support, having that local community and people knowing what you're about. You're a solid person. So again, hats off to you for that, Cordell. So again, you sort of explained you come from a pretty solid grounding. You're humble. Are you a man of God, Cordell? Do you believe in God, and do you have something that drives you as a faith, for example?
Yeah. I'm a Christian. I believe. I really got into my faith when I got into trouble. I
Mm,
kind of actually, to be real with you, I grew up like I grew up in the hood, but I was a kid who went to church still.
yeah,
Like I was around kids who were bad, but like I still was kind of like a church kid. I was the nerd of the like bad kids. Um, and like I don't know, I used to like just try to like influence my friends to be a little different, but I still was a product of my environment as well. But I got back to my faith, like really strong in my faith when I got in trouble. Um, and I feel like that was something that helped me, stay focused and get to this goal. And I pray and I'm grateful and I thank the Lord every day for this opportunity.
100%. So, of course, through believing in God and stuff, I'm sure you believe in that this moment was meant for you, is written for you. This was always, going to happen, but you've had to work for it, obviously, of course. So, everything that happens sort of happens for a reason. That belief
Yeah,
essentially is what you're on, and the path that you're on as well. So, again, that's amazing to hear, Cordell. So let's talk a bit about the opportunity at hand now. Obviously, you're coming after, I think, 5 or 6 wins since the Amar Williams fight in 2022, I believe. I
yeah,
noticed on your, in terms of weight, you've fluctuated between middleweight and light middleweight. Is
yeah,
that just a matter of taking whatever opportunities come your way because you can make both weights and seeing which one
yeah.
would be better off? Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Well, I would like to campaign at 154 like I am, but the opportunities weren't presenting themselves at 154, so I couldn't just sit back and just wait until the you know, can you hear that? I couldn't just sit back and wait until
For 1 second, but it's gone.
uh,
Yeah.
I couldn't just like sit back and wait until opportunity came because then I was sitting there thinking like, well, I'm 33. If I keep waiting, I'm waiting and waiting, and then where do I get the chance to put myself? And I said, you know what, let me just take a shot. I get at 60 or I get at 54, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't afford to sit around and waste your career waiting for an opportunity. And now, like you said, you made that sort of choice, and now you've got a massive opportunity at hand. Um, Again, like we said, massive opportunity on March 22nd, fighting for a unified world title. So it's double, the prize essentially, against a guy who, great fighter in Sebastian Fundora, someone who So we're good.
Sorry, I just wanted to tell them.
No problem. That's fine. No worries. No worries. I was just saying, so obviously Sebastian Fundora presents a, no pun intended, a massive challenge. Obviously, the size of the guy is kind of scary to look at because he can make 154. Long arms, tall, very abnormal situation, and a guy to be fighting. But he's clearly a very good fighter. He's Erickson Lubin. He had a war against him. He had a war against
Yeah.
Tim Zhu. So the guy's got heart and he's got power, and he goes for it. So you sort of know what to expect in terms of he's going to bring it. I'm sure you're going to bring it too. There's no doubt. But what are you expecting from Sebastian Fundora on the 22nd outside of the obvious heart and desire? What sort of what do you look at him and think, okay, this is what I need to do against this guy?
I've been watching the Lubin fight a lot because me and Lubin are the same height, both southpaw. So it's a good tool to watch and kind of get some information off of that fight. And like you said, he put a lot of pressure on to him. He walked forward, he marched forward. But Lubin also showed that he could be hurt. Lubin caught him with some punches and put him down. They both put each other down. So he's tough. He has a lot going for him as far as his height and his stamina. But he also shows that he can be outboxed. Lubin was boxing well when he was moving, and he also showed that he can, he's open on the inside. Like him being tall is a really great tool for him, but it also that can also be like a double-edged sword. Like there's a lot more surface to hit as well, which kind of makes you a bigger target. So, I mean, I'm ready to go in there and do whatever it takes to win. The same way Lubin went in there, and just he competed. You have to compete with him. You can't just let this guy just walk all over you and do what he wants. And you see with the guys that who have competed against him very well and fought back, they had great success. Like the guy who actually ended up beating him too.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, you can't let him get like too much on the front foot. You have to give some resistance, push back. You hear about boxing, front foot fighters who are bullies. You got to bully the bully to try and keep them at bay and make them question everything as well. We've seen that
Right.
happen, over the years with many great fighters who have been, was it front foot and attacking fighters who are just on the go always. You got to be able to put them back, and if you can, that's sometimes when the chinks in the armor start to show. So, like you said, we've seen that with Fundora. That could be something you can exploit. I don't want to get too much into the game plan because obviously you got to keep that to yourself
Yeah.
and not give up too much information in that regard. But that's good to hear that you've been sort of studying and looking at other tape and building off that. That's amazing. For yourself, Chordale, obviously you fought Amar Williams back in 2022, and you've sort of had 5 or 6 wins since then. What would you say you've learned from coming off that loss and rebuilding? What have you learned about yourself as a human being and as a boxer?
As far as me as a man, it made me a better man. Just overall being able to explain to my kids, my youth program, like these are setbacks that come along the way. Look, I'm not undefeated anymore, but that didn't stop me from continuing to push forward and obtain my ultimate goal, which is becoming the world champion. Um, because too many times now in this era, you see like people will like put only their highlights of like them winning, like right, whether it's basketball, football, soccer, they put all the things in them looking good, but they don't tell you about the times they lost and they were down and what they had to do to come back from that to win a championship. Um, we're in that era, and I'm actually glad that happened to me because I wouldn't be prepared for this opportunity right now. I had to make some changes with who I am and what I was doing for as far as training. Um, I had to get a little more serious about what I was eating, learning more about nutrition. What are the right things that I'm doing? What are the wrong and the right things that I'm doing? Right to prepare myself for these battles, especially with the guys who are at the top, because I was getting by with just being talented, honestly. Whereas, guys the undefeated guys who I fought, which is only a few of them in my career, they're doing the correct things, like living as a professional, where like I'm fighting full-time professional fighters but as a part-time boxer, which means I have to do a little bit more. I have to take it a little bit more serious. I should be having the same nutritionist and the same recovery. All those things matter, and these are things that I've been doing now, and my career has taken a big turn, and I'm like, wow, I wish I did this from the beginning.
Of course. So yeah, the main thing is that you've learned from it, and it's now, like you said, put you in a much better position mindset wise, and you know what you did wrong, and now you can build and become a better version of yourself. So again, that's another positive, sort of consequence of that loss, essentially.
Yeah,
And like you said, social media, whether it's sports, day to day average person, we only ever see people's wins. Very rarely will you see people putting their losses on there. But like you said, it's the losses that make you who you are, not the wins. It's how you come back from a loss. In particular, in
right.
boxing, how does someone come back from adversity? So for yourself, you come back from that adversity now, and now you've gone into bigger and better things and getting the biggest opportunity of your career. So again, it's about trying to find the positives, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And
Absolutely.
that's all like. That's all that I want out of this. I want to win so bad. I want to be able to. It's just something for me to prove to myself too. It has very little to do with everybody else, and more to do with just how I feel about me. I lost that fight, and I just knew that wasn't the best me. I wasn't the best version of who I am when that happened.
And Cordell, so just to wrap up the interview, like I said, I didn't want to keep it too long. The 154 division, for example, now the talent in that division: Virgil Ortiz, Madrimov, Boachuk, or Terence Crawford. Obviously, is that 154. He won't be there much longer if he does fight Canelo in the end. It's a stacked division. Great fighters.
Yeah,
Errol Spence potentially moving up. Fundora himself, Tim
yeah,
Tszyu, Keith Thurman. You can go on forever. There's so many big names in that division now. Obviously, for yourself, win, lose, or draw on the 22nd. Where do you see yourself in this mix? And like, are you the type of person that will just take any opportunity, regardless of whatever happens on the 22nd, win or lose? Do you see yourself as someone who will just fight anyone in the division regardless?
yeah. Absolutely. This is honestly what I've wanted for my career, so that way I take boxing fully serious, and be able to put myself in position to fight these kind of guys, where I can go and have a camp. This is the first camp I ever had in boxing. I'm 24 fights in, and it's the first camp that I've had I've always had to work a job and then fight, and
Hmm.
other guys who I'm fighting don't have to do that, and that's tough, But it was something I'm used to. So, but now doing like I don't care who they put in front of me. I will gladly take it. I will gladly compete against anybody. We have so many different guys and matchups that we could do at 154. We could have a tournament of like
Hmm.
16 fighters, and it would all be, I think, 50-50 fights, honestly,
Yeah, Corda, look, I mean, just clarify. So this is the first full training camp you've been able to do without having to work a job.
in my entire career.
Wow. Well, listen, Corda, obviously for you, then obviously again, this is a massive opportunity, which clearly you have given 100% to in camp. And I want to just say a massive thank you for giving me a bit of your time today. And I want to wish you the utmost success on the 22nd. Whatever's meant to happen for you will happen, but you got to go out there and give your best. And congratulations on the opportunity. So thank you so much for giving me a bit of your time, Cordell. Is there? Can you just give me your Instagram and Twitter handles, please, for people who've watched the
The
interview?
At the GIF_7, or you could just type in Chordale Booker. My name is on everything.
Yeah,
I appreciate your time, man. Thank you for the great conversation. Thank you for your platform. I appreciate you.
no worries. Thank you, Brian. From one man of God to another man of God, all the best, and God willing, victory will be yours, bro. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Jordan. Thank you.
Appreciate it.